This magic, I know it. It is not Magus New Might. No, I know he's dead. He has to be. Yes, it is as I have least suspected. I've fallen victim to her. Of course, she would come to avenge him. She's here. This princess bride, hidden amongst the innocent. Pulling my strings as she spins her web of lies. The Queen of Nightmares. Magus Coonside. Now it's time for you to die.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Rippaverse Roundtable. Of course, today's a fairly special day as we have just launched Yaira number 3, third installment of Yaira. Really excited about it. We're going to be talking everything Yaira today. We're going to be interacting with, of course, all of you lovely folks in the chat. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Thumbs a video up, all of that good stuff. I will not forget to read the super chats this time. I can make you that promise for sure. But yes, we're talking everything Yaira number 3. And yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun today. But let's go round table. Of course, I'm joined by creative manager Andrew, man. What's up?
Hey, how's it going, Eric? How's it going, chat? Welcome, Rippaverse. Love you all. Love your beautiful faces. Thank you so much for supporting Yaira 3 so stellarly. That's going to be a word for the day. Already at halfway to 6 figures. Thank you so much. I am excited.
Let's go. Yes, halfway there. We'll talk numbers. I'll be on the collection page here in a bit. And of course, we have to be joined by the writers of Yaira, Jen and Sylvia. Saska, what's going on?
Hello, creator of Yaira. Thank you for letting me watch your daughter.
Hi, Bob. Hi, Andrew. Hi,
y'all.
chat. So happy to be joining y'all for an Easter Monday. And Yaira hath risen again. She was dead previously, and now she's back.
Yeah, I'm going to try not saying any spoilers, but there seems to be spoilers all around us in the merch, in the posters, in the trailer.
That's a lot of projection. It's really just coming from you.
I know, right? Andrew, you're here to keep me honest, right? So I'm going to watch
Someone's gotta.
And you're going too far.
How about them new shirts, you guys? I don't know who any of those people are.
The mystery poster. We have a poster we can't even show people.
It's because she's naked. That's why.
Nah. Special, you guys. We
People
heard.
love that. Yes. Of course, thank you, ladies, for joining us. And yeah, let's just get right into it. I'll go ahead and pull this up. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us. Yaira 3 is officially live. We just crossed over on a Monday, $50,000 in total sales. So thank you. Closing in on 2,000 books sold. You can go.
A lot of people aren't even off work yet.
Yeah, that's very true. Rippaverse.com. Go grab that. I know we have like 5 collections active right now. This is the one that we're talking about today. But before I get started going in on this, this is also the last week of the Great War separation, and technically the last week. Going into tomorrow will be the last week for Zaylan. I might have got those backwards. One closes on Friday and one closes on Monday, and I'll be streaming a little bit on Friday as well to close. Well, Friday and Monday we'll do the Rippaverse Roundtable, of course, and that'll serve as a close for the other one as well. And then active will be Yaira 3, Isom, as well as the Horsemen, of course. So go grab all of those. This is a great time for you to take advantage of your hero stash. If you don't know what that is, the hero stash is just like it sounds. A place where you can stash a bunch of stuff. You don't have to pay for shipping. You can delay your shipping. It's a place for you to, if you want to wait for the releases or whatever, you can buy as many items as you want, as well as being able to consolidate multiple orders. So you'll be able to do that with your hero stash. If you want to ship it all at one time, I know that that's very attractive for you lovely people that are out of the United States, so meaning outside of the United States. So we appreciate y'all. We wanted to make sure that we could make this just a better buying experience for everybody. Of course, the domestic customers will take advantage of it as well, but as well as our international customers. You guys invest a lot of money into the Rippaverse, and then we're trying to see if we can come up with creative ways. We're always trying to work on pricing, but we need to come up with creative ways to kind of alleviate some of those. I know the shipping is the big one. So that's why we created the Hero Stash. It's a great time for you to take advantage of that. Pre-order. Those go a long way. You hear me say that a long time. Well, you hear me say that a lot, that it goes a long way. And the reason that is because it allows us to kind of see where we're at, not just with general sales, but it determines a lot of the future, right? So thank you all for y'all support. I know it's only day one, closing in on 2,000 books. So appreciate y'all so much for that. The collection is live. Yaira number 3 picking up obviously right after Yaira number 2. Of course, we have some of Deborah's lovely art that I'm showing you all here. She knocks it out the park. There's some great scenes that you're going to see in Yaira number 3 that I didn't show here, but there's some awesome scenes in Yaira number 3 that you all are going to, I think, enjoy. Deborah Carita does a phenomenal job on this entire book. I mean, this entire series, she does a fantastic job nonetheless, but can't wait for you to see some of the other stuff. As far as what's up for sale, if you want a synopsis, of course, we have our log line descriptions down here, all that good stuff. But let's first go look at these books real quick. We have
so
this
good.
cover. Irene Strakowski, good friend of us up here at the Rippaverse. She did that poster that is directly behind me of ISOM that many of you guys have got. She's an awesome creator, very insightful as well. I advise that you follow her on other forms of social media because she's putting out some good videos that really does let the audience in on like just general perspective of just creator, authorship, being an artist, all of that good stuff. She's a wonderful talent, and I'm glad that we could get her on a cover here. She's done a poster for us in the past, but now you see an actual cover. This is cover A, which depicts both Yaira and Stefania. Okay, so I love this scene. I love this. As soon as I saw pencils and ink, I was like, this is it. I love it. They're going at it. This is perfect.
So dynamic.
Yes,
it's epic.
Probably
most
not
definitely.
what Yaira was expecting when she asked Brian Solari to look after Stefania, though.
Not exactly.
Fully trained and ready to kick her butt.
She knew that ass kicking was coming.
Yeah.
She knew.
That's for sure. That's for sure. So yes, we got both of them on the cover. That's cover A by Irene. This is one of the limited. You know, we do 3 limited ones and one that's unlimited. Let's just say that. So go grab this. Andrew Kramer was the colorist on it, did a phenomenal job on that as well. You're going to be seeing a lot of them. Great talent. And of course, we have our own Caden White here. This was something, give you some backstory on this. This was something that he requested to do himself a lot of times. Well, let me say this. I do give him a lot of freedom for sure to like come up with different concepts of various covers because him being an art director, he knows what's going on in a lot of these stories. So it's very easy for him to come up with his own ideas for the covers. What he specifically requested for this was doing a throwback. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to do a throwback cover. And I said, I'm game. If you're game, I'm game. If you are game, I'm game. So he did this. This was wonderful. Turned out excellent.
It's insane.
The cover itself is awesome. Obviously, I love all the blurbs as we do on our throwback covers. So thanks to all of y'all that have grabbed this as well. Big shout out to Caden White. First time doing it's not technically the first throwback cover that we did was ISOM 2, but like he specifically requested this for Yaira. So it was like, I was like, have at it. Go for it. Do what you will. And then we have a special cover. And when you see the special cover for this, it's gonna really pop. A lot of times, as you've learned, right? And we've learned as well, oftentimes more simplified look is better for the special covers because we got all this application going on it, right?
Mhm.
Like, so when you have all these different characters and so much going on, it can get a little messy. So, Zoran, shout out. Jokic did this cover. Marcos Martis is the colorist on it. And I said, just give me some little simple, commanding, but simple.
Can I just speak for myself and probably a large portion of the people in the chat? Shout out to you, chat. I know there's like this stigma for women with purple hair these days, but I feel like I could fix her.
You have at it, Andrew. You have at it.
I'm just saying, chat, you're with me, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are.
She's
Positive they are.
a good-looking woman.
So-
I mean, her and Yaira wrestle. It's gonna be pretty sick.
Exactly. So you guys have seen this. Everybody's like, who is she? All of that, all of the things. I'm excited about it. I'm excited for you to learn more about her in the upcoming Yaira number 3. And Zoran did. This is the first cover that he's done for us, and he did such a great job. So shout out. You gonna grab this. This is, of course, our special cover that we always do, which will have all sorts of special application. We'll do some full stuff. We'll do some luminous. We'll do some embossing. We'll do all of that fancy stuff as we always do. Okay. Then we have cover D, which you've already seen from our own Jack Herbert, who's also the artist for the Great War of Separation. So we revealed this not too long ago. I love this. Marcos Martins really, I mean, he took it to another level. The artwork in itself was already well, and this is going to be the mass print. So you'll see this one floating out there for years to come. Yaira number 3, Jack Herbert. Big shout out, Marcos Martins, as well as one of our main colorists here. So I love the way that this turned out. Got to give a big shout out to everybody, all those involved. That said, of course, we have CG6 Signature Series copies that you will be able to grab as well. They'll be signed by Jen and Sylvia. And we have, I don't know who this mag is, but I have no idea who this guy is, but it's a cool
Me
shirt.
neither.
I'll just say that much. No idea who this guy is.
It's very metal.
Yeah. Cool shirt, whoever the guy is. Interesting cat, to say the least. Really cool design, whoever this guy is. But yes, by Kanan White, of course, Marco's colors. Both of that's pretty much the tandem that we use for a lot of our shirts. And I love the way this turned out. We had a pre-press go in, add some text on it. No idea who this guy is whatsoever. And maybe once you read Yaira number 3, perhaps you will learn more about
He
him.
just saves cats from trees. That's all he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he looks so intense. He's like, let me catch that cat.
And the fire goes off to see the cat's in the dark, right? Because he's like, oh, there's a cat. Let's go get it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he's very well adjusted.
Very well adjusted, very well intended as well. Of best of intentions. So you have that shirt. Of course, we have another, just a traditional tee, a pearl blue tee by Kane and White. You can always do for another Yaira. There's not enough Yaira shirts out there, if you ask me.
Yaira Y shirt? Yes, please.
Yes, exactly. There's not enough of them. We don't have enough.
There is not.
More. We need more. And of course, we have this spoiler. This is also going to be done by Caden White. Actually, not when I say going to be done, it's already done, obviously. This will make a lot of sense once you read the story, of course. So yeah, lovely. This poster is insane. Marcos Martins also colored it as well. This, or was it Candace? I can't remember who
it was Candace.
It was Candace. Candace was the one
Candace
that colored it. Candace Hine colored this one. You're gonna love it.
Oh my gosh.
She's crazy. She's crazy good.
Yes.
And
so beautiful.
Yeah, this cover here is pretty sick. Let me just say that. So, or poster, excuse me, it's pretty sick. So go grab that spoiler poster as well. And of course, we have Cleto poster.
It looks great.
Oh
yeah. I love it. Vince El Tabanas, you saw him on the reveal for the Sersha cover. So it's the same artist. Fantastic artist. He does his own colors as well. Love how this turned out. Wonderful talent.
That's a triple threat Man,
Yeah.
there aren't too many of those artists that'll pencil, ink, and color
Yeah, he does the
and
full
do all of them
art.
well.
Actual illustrator, man. He is crazy good. Crazy good. All around just amazing talent. Great to have him here. Met a lot of awesome people. Just over the course of the last few years with the Rippaverse, man, and just adding more to the roster is always good. Creates for, I guess, more dynamic, like just variation of different types of posters and stuff. And we talked about this maybe on the first roundtable. I only mentioned it briefly, but with some of our work going forward, obviously you have the books that are already active, the Isoms, the Yairas, and the Blood Ruths, and Alpha Cores, and Horsemen, and all that. But we have some upcoming work that's awesome, and I love that we're really starting to mix it up with the style, right?
Oh yeah.
Some of these stories are far more stylistic. We got some more kind of classic old school, feel like the Bart Sears of the world.
Oh,
We
yeah.
got some in that vein, but we also have like cartoonists that are doing work for us and making for some really dynamic, really cool stylistic comics as well. So the artwork is going to be for these upcoming books. You're going to see it's going to be dynamic. And what I mean by that is that you're going to be seeing all sorts of different styles. Actually, it's going to be a wide variation of that with the upcoming titles that we have. So you're starting to see some of that in some of the like covers and posters that we're able to show off. So those are all of the individual items. Of course, we have plenty of different packs and bundles and all of the good stuff, some stuff that was left over from Yaira number 2 that you can grab as well. The statue, the hat, for example. It's not that many of those, but we were like, okay, might as well throw them in there, get rid of them, all that good stuff. So, all right. So let's talk Yaira 3. I'll be interacting with you guys here in the chat in a bit, but let's talk Yaira 3. Picking up right after we ended with Yaira 2 and the audience, the reader, you're trying to pick up what the hell's going on, because clearly what she's seeing and what she feels like she's experiencing is different from how others are seeing it, right? And that's what I love about the actual last page of the book, and that's what you're left with. You're left with what is she seeing and what is real versus what's not. Is this something, obviously without spoiling, because Andrew's here,
I just want to say this is like, when the parents are away and they're like, you shouldn't have to like need me here to be on good behavior.
We need you here for this one though, Andrew. There's too much people in the chat that haven't even read their Yaira 2s, and they're like, please don't spoil it. And I'm like, earmuffs, you guys, earmuffs.
We always need you, Andrew. And between us, Eric, and the chat even told us, it doesn't matter about the NDAs. You can spoil the ending. So you got to keep us on target.
Yeah.
I guess somebody has to.
But obviously we're in there. Is this more of a like this experience or this rather concept? Is this something that is even further explored in Yaira number 3, ladies?
Yes.
Yes. Keep it simple.
Yes, and there are a lot of answers coming at you in Yaira 3. There's going to be a lot more questions, but there's going to be a lot of you will figure out what is going on. If you are concerned about, you want to know what's real and what's not, you will have some of that answered for you.
Yeah.
And it is a story that is going to keep you guessing till the very last page, though.
Yeah, and when the ending happens and you lose your minds, blame Eric.
Yep,
because that came as a suggestion from him, and it made
that is true.
Much stronger, to the point where we were like, "Whoa!"
That's true.
Yeah,
you're not wrong.
Yeah, you guys are going to be catching your breath reading Yaira, because there's a couple big things that happen, and you're like, "Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!"
Yeah, there are four big shit moments.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot of shit.
Yeah, well, we're horror movie directors, so you can see a lot of like kind of Nightmare on Elm Street, A Serpent in the Rainbow, a lot of horror sensibilities to this, because I remember when we first set up Yaira in the first book, and then we're like, the next arc, we're not going to go easy on her, because you want to see something, because she's so powerful. You want to put her against something that'll just rip her apart from every angle. And no spoilers, she's never going to be the same after this book.
Much like Isom, though, when we did Yaira 1, we were planning Yaira 3. We were like, oh, people got this much of her, and then they got that much of her, and let's let them get to know her a little better. You're really going to feel that you know who Yaira is by the end of this. And you're going to be surprised by finding out things also.
Yeah, and you crazy Magus Newmite fans, I can't believe there's so many of you. You're gonna get some good stuff about him too.
Oh yeah, there's some really good Magus Newmite stuff in this guy. Oh yeah.
I'm excited for you all to read it. I do know exactly what you're referencing at the end. Yeah, so that'd be fun as the audience reads that. I'm really excited about. I think I'm gonna take that one, because I think there's going to be, there are a lot of answers. It's going to be a lot of questions as well, because this is an ongoing after all, and we have this universe that we're trying to build and we're trying to flesh out. So it's a lot going on there, where you're going to get those answers, but there's going to be a lot of questions that are going to be popping up for you. And I'm really, really excited for you all to read the follow-up to some of you all's favorite characters. I know, Andrew, you've read a lot about this Yaira, a little bit about what's going on with Yaira. What do you think with 3? Right? I mean, so, and it's such a difficult thing to talk about without spoiling, for sure, just because of where it's at in the story, right? Which while we're
I look like a Sasuke?
Talking around, right?
You're definitely pretty enough.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, what do you think God's gonna get out of this?
I think that fans are going to get a hell of a lot out of this. And one of my favorite things I think they're going to get out of it is one of the things that I love most about ongoing storytelling, which is when you're telling an arc, you want to give people just a teeny little bit in the beginning to get them curious about a character, curious about a world that's being built. Then you give them a little bit more in the next part. And then in the wrap up to that arc, you give them like a really good amount of stuff to work with. But at the same time, it's like, you're giving them a handshake and a punch in the mouth, because you're also leaving them with a ton of more questions at the end as well. And that's a good thing, because then you want to learn what happens next. So you keep coming back for more. And that's what they're going to get out of Yaira 3, as well as just like whiplash every 6 pages.
Yeah, it is. It's
was that real? Was this real?
That's what you're thinking, right? And it does. It's almost like a trip. Right, you're going. She's tripping, to be fair, as well, and you're tripping with her as a reader when you're trying to put together the pieces. And again, you do get up, but it's enough to where you're still going to be getting answers about what's taking place. She's just kind of being taken through the ringer as all this stuff goes down. So it's exciting. I know you all are going to love this. I'm glad that we're getting up there with some of these issues with, the Yairas and like Isom and stuff, and really starting to tell these stories and really letting them flesh out, let these characters be fleshed out. I'm really, really excited. Someone asked an interesting question in the chat here. The Ray Infinity shows, are there any plans for Isom, Yaira, and others to form a superhero team? Well, I don't know about those two particularly.
They have some bridges that need to be fixed.
Yeah, like there's a lot of mending of fences, I guess, if you will. If that's ever going to happen between at least those two, right? But my general philosophy on this, or rather the companies, is like, yeah, I get that's going to be attractive. A lot of people are waiting on that, anticipating that. Are you going to have your version of what a lot of other publishers have in the big superhero team? The thing about that is, while eventually I think there's going to be some room to do it. We just have to be careful. We're really at the ground stages, because if you think about it, even with those two characters, right? If it was just those two characters, if they had to team up in any capacity, whatever that threat level is, has to be something pretty sizable, right? Yeah. And I just don't think that we're there yet initially for us to be introducing a lot of that stuff. Though there are teams, and there's even more teams that we're going to be introducing in the future of superheroes. Maybe not of the main ones, right? But you have your Alpha Cores, you have your other characters that we've created as well. They're also part of teams. that I think a lot of people are going to get some stuff out of. But with specifically with these characters and some of the main ones, like prominent ones, the Isams, the Yairas, the others. I mean, you've seen some kind of team up, small team ups on a given mission, like with saving Sam with Bloodworth and Isam, right? You saw that. So I think you're gonna see some more of that type of stuff. But as far as like this major epic crossover, I think we're all building up to that. We're all trying to take our characters and get you to learn about them before we take them there. Because again, that's going to mean that there's a threat. And then what happens is we're going to have to try to outdo ourselves each time. And it's just to be in year 3. I don't know if that's the position that we want to be in, where it's like, oh, we introduced this big threat. Well, now we got to do it again because nothing feels like, so
you lock yourself into a cycle when you do that. So, and another thing is we're still, people forget, and it's easy to forget because, other big comic book publishers have been around for decades and decades and decades, coming on a century in some cases almost.
For sure.
And they didn't have those big superhero teams right off the jump, right? It took them a while to build up to that because people had to get used to and endeared to and love the individual characters that were part of those teams. People care about those teams because they care about the individual characters. People don't know it quite enough about the individual characters, I think, to really justify being like, I'm down for this team with this specific team makeup. There's not enough there just yet. We're only 3 years old, guys. We're still an infant company, and there's a lot of room to grow and a lot of stories to tell with individual characters. We'll get there. It'll take time, but just as you said, Eric, as soon as you put all these already powerful characters individually together on a team, one, you have to create a threat that justifies all of those characters teaming up because that's the only way they can take down that threat. And then what did you do? Well, you ratcheted up the threat level in your comic book universe.
Yep.
And then from there, in order for them to beat him or her, you're going to have to then scale up their power. They're going to have some way of like, they all get stronger. And then you lock yourself into the cycle. You're going to have to continually make everybody more and more powerful. And before you know it, you're just doing crazy power scaling super fast. And that's why we're taking our time doing that, because we want to do it. We all want to do it. We all want to get there, but we're like, we got to pace ourselves in order to get there. Right. In order to get there and do it right in an
because you can just do it and then it puts you in, you've painted yourself in a corner.
Universe.
At what cost is more, I guess, of the question that you're having to answer when you just do that stuff right off the bat. And I get it, man. If that's what other people want to do, that's their business. But with us having this very expanding kind of universe and us caring a lot about continuity as well, something that a lot of the bigger publishers didn't get that luxury of taking serious from the get-go, because, I mean, who would have thought when you're creating a company, it'll be endeared and loved like as if it's part of American or Western culture, right? So that's no knock to them for getting to the position that they're in, but we're operating as if we're going to be around for years to come. And so in order for us to not make those same, it almost sounds like it's a knock when you say they made a mistake, but it's more of a mistake in retrospect, right? Hindsight, because when you're not taking that stuff serious from the jump and you're not taking your time, you do force yourself and your company to have to rely just to get general intrigue on these sort of events and that are just world breaking, right? And I just don't want to get us into that cycle. And I want to also, like what Andrew was pointing to, and to do it right, to make it make sense, because that team up or that big team or these two guys going to take down this threat, that becomes far more impactful if everybody knows who those characters are, right? And we've had them go through their own sort of experiences that the audience has been able to, they've been taken for a ride here. So once that thing does happen, it does become this like epic moment that just feels righteous, right? So I want to get us to that point, and I'm excited. I'm really, really excited to do stuff like that. I do think that you're still going to, in all of our books, you're going to see, okay, well, this character ended up showing up for some reason, right? And they weren't maybe a main part of the storyline. Maybe they were, but it's not like that. Okay, this is the big league or the big team, right? Like, it's not one of those type of situations. It's like, okay, they had something that they needed to deal with, like, again, what happened in Isam #2 with Isam and Yaira. stuff like that. I think you'll see a lot more of that before you see something that's just world breaking, because that's exactly what it would be. And if we were going for flash over substance, that's exactly what we would do. I'd already had these guys. I had the whole name figured out. I'd have Isum teaming up with Alpha Core, teaming up with Brian, teaming up with Horse. Yeah, and we'd have this big league of just super villain or super teams, and I had these big cosmic threats and stuff. Yeah, if we were going for flash over substance, that's exactly what we would do, but that's not where we're at. We want to take our time. And I know it's really hard to conceptualize, even for us sometimes, that we're not even 3 years old. Like, it's not even yet. Like, we will be this summer. So we gotta.
When is the official anniversary, boss?
Is it 11th?
11th of July.
June. Yeah, July. So yeah,
11th of July.
Last name, I'll remember.
July,
I know, right? That's funny how that lined up the way that it did.
I love that. And also the interactions you see between the characters, you can kind of see it happening a little bit more and a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying any examples because I'm like so into the whole future, so I don't want to be like, like, remember in this book when these guys hung out, wasn't that the coolest? So
Exactly. Yeah, it's difficult to do that as we get further and further ahead, because those lines start to get blurred about what we have put out versus what we have not. And so it's going to become increasingly difficult for all of us to make sure that, well, wait a minute, you just said a thing that we actually never said anything about yet because that book's not out yet. But oh shit. So yeah.
I can tell it's not a spoiler because I just look at Andrew to see if he looks into the camera, and then I'm like, okay, I did it. I'm sorry.
I learned from Caro, I'm always watching.
Defendo 99, 14 months. Appreciate that. Says, let's freaking go. Saroni Almighty with a 14 months says there's a code in here. Is just me. Just Yaira. That's all that it is. Shout out to you. Marcus with a 5. So a lot of theories going on in the Rippaverse fandom about Kunzite and Pain. Yeah, I've seen them.
Who?
I've seen it. It's been interesting to see the theories that you all have out there. It's been one. That's what it's about, right? I love to see you guys geeking out about that cool stuff. And we'll see who's right and who was maybe a little off. We'll see. The Killer Spotlight with a 5 says, got the graded copies of Yaira 2 and Bloodruth. Now I need to get the normal copies. Oh, go for it. Get them all. Why not? We have Garfield's Bizarre Vigil with a 2 says, congrats to Rini. She does great work. Yes, she does. Like I said, we did. Our first time working together was with this. I had her on like my stream on my channel. We were talking a bunch of random stuff. Out of that, she ends up doing this lovely poster back there. Some Fighting Devlings. And yeah, it's just a timing thing. That's how it happens a lot. There's a lot of people that people are like, you should work with, you should do that. And it's not that either party doesn't want to do it. It's that oftentimes you're naming guys, they have a lot of stuff that they're doing, especially with someone like Rini, where she has her own little expansive universe with Fiendish that she's building on and that, she's doing, right? So
she created a whole language for that.
Yes,
like
exactly.
She Tolkien'd that.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
That is true. That's very true. And so a lot of it's timing. It's like, while we would love to like have them do something with us, cover interiors, definitely was a coincidence. Sometimes it's just a timing thing. So when the stars align, she had a little window, and we appreciate her so much taking time off from her busy schedule to do that lovely Yaira cover. And I'm glad that everybody got to check it out. So yeah, she's done. Also, if you've seen the map in the Great War of Separation #1, she did that map as well.
Badass.
So she's crazy good, and we love working with her. She is awesome. How many pages? Yaira 356 is the number of pages. Luke says Greg Land should be hired to at least do a cover for Yaira. His art pisses off Ligar and Rich Johnston types. He's perfect for the Rippaverse. Well, I mean, I wouldn't want to bring someone on to spite someone else. I don't think that's not the goal there. If someone does great work, I'd love to work with them if we can make that make sense, for sure. But I don't want to get in the habit of just bringing folks on or having them do work just to spite other folks. Like, that's not really the goal here. I mean, sure, we do things and someone else might not like it, whatever. but that's just a side effect. Like we don't do. I'm not creating to.
That's
spite.
doing the right thing for the wrong reasons, Eric.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I'm not doing things to try to spite.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's his thing, right? So if you do good work, I'm all ears, all eyes. Okay. I even did a call out for the first time not too long ago. All ears, all eyes. Would love to see what you guys come up with, guys and gals come up with as far as your artwork. If we can fit you in, we'll fit you in. You're gonna see a lot of new artists.
Oh yeah,
that are gonna be popping up that have not done work before. With the Rippaverse that you're gonna be seeing. You're gonna be seeing a lot of new sequential artists, a lot of new cover artists.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
That guy you got for that one thing, Eric, I'm obsessed. He is.
Oh yeah. There's some. I mean, we're not gonna announce the artist, but we could say this much that obviously we do know who the artists are for both of y'all's individual books.
Oh yeah,
well,
the not so friendly competition.
Yeah.
And every time new art comes in, I show it to Sylph and I laugh at her. I'm like, but look at this. This is amazing.
I was living in fear because I saw your pages first and I was like, well, I guess I lose. And then you hired what's his face, and oh my God, is he good?
I got my artist first because Eric loves me more.
Eric was looking for someone good enough for what I wrote.
Plead the fifth, Eric. Plead the fifth.
Yeah, I think they're all true.
I will just say the cursed artwork. My God, the person who does it, I was a fan of beforehand. Yeah. I'm very, very happy that them are working on the book. No spoilers as to who they are, but the art is so stylish. It is so unique, and there's nothing else I've read that's even remotely like it. And them and I are having a really fun time creating.
You won't even reveal the gender?
Nope. Nope.
That's commitment. Jen, I'm proud of you.
I love the commitment. I love the commitment. You're not even getting the gender of the dude or gal. Who knows?
Wow.
Chicks can be dudes nowadays.
Deborah Carita is
not in the U.S., but everywhere else.
But we got Deborah. It might be a lady. It could Irene. We just talked about her doing the cover of Yaira 3. So it could be a girl. It could be a dude. Who knows? But they're good. For both books. Very
good.
Oh God, they're so damn
really good.
Oh my gosh. If you were a fan of Michael Copper before, wait till you read the book and see the art. This artist draws Michael so well.
Yeah.
The action is amazing. The characterization. I can't say a lot of stuff. I wish I could, but you guys are gonna really love it. That first page is a banger, and it just takes you. It just keeps going from there.
Oh yeah, it's the ultimate dark power fantasy. If you hated Joker 2, you're gonna love the Black Eye Club.
Black Eye Club. And if you like J horror, you're gonna love The Cursed.
No. Everybody is gonna love The Cursed.
The Cursed is pretty dang good.
Michael Copper stuff, guys. Don't make me do that.
Oh yeah, the loser has to wear the other person's merch for a month straight. So
and do a video saying that the other book is better.
Ooh,
don't
that's
make
amazing.
That,
a lovely competition.
Really nice to Jen when that happens for her.
A lovely competition, and I love it. I absolutely love it. But yeah, no, seriously, guys, we do have a stable. We're adding folks to it, and I'm loving what they're coming up with. I think they're going to do some awesome work going forward, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, we are starting to mix it up, different styles. And again, we are really focused on, for most of our books, just a more traditional kind of or modern, here's some more realism than anything with pretty much all of our artists. But we're really mixing it up with the styles for some projects that have been announced, but there's also stuff that got green lit that's already has art on it that we have not announced yet.
That's true. That thing is so good.
Oh, I know what book you're talking about. That is so different for the Rippaverse, and every time I see a page, I freak out. Yeah.
Well, even with Dirty Deeds, Evan Scales' art isn't anything like any other books we put out there.
Very unique artist. Really, that set the tone.
Maybe Dirty Deeds will be a full book soon. Maybe
everybody in the chat
let us know.
There will be a survey going out this week about the zine. Let us know if you want more dirty deeds.
There you go. So the team has that rocked out, as we did with the other books as well. That's what the Ripazine is there for.
Yep.
Let us know. Give us all the feedback. Do your reviews. All of that good stuff.
Yep.
We do those specifically with you all in mind. It's a way for us to test characters, way for us to test storylines, and what happens, whether they are expanded upon, more side characters, if they're going to be in a I don't know, another zine or a full like ongoing series, limited series. Are they going to pop up in maybe more of a graphic novel like what we're doing with Salvage? All of the stuff is on the table, but we need your feedback. That's going to determine it. And then we will decide what direction. Me and Carol briefly talked about that today about like, hey, what's the direction? And I was like, yeah, we're going to get some more feedback. Got a survey going out. The team just confirmed. We'll see. We'll see. But I will say this. It has been a really positive, like a big time positive. I think a lot of it has to do with the style.
Yeah.
Right? Because it is like the sci-fi. I think a lot of people were itching for that type of
Firefly.
Yeah. They love that. So I think a style has a lot to do with it. And Carol is just a rock star. She knows what she's doing. So she prepared a fantastic story for you. So it has been generally positive. People love Evan's art. Shout out Marco Lesko. Funny story about that. I don't know if we've told that publicly, but Marco's doing some other stuff for us. You know that he's doing the rest of the Great War Separation, as you all know. And it was a timing thing that we had with other colorists. And Marco was like, as he was tackling on these other projects, he was like, I'll do it. Like, whatever, like, just give me the work. And he got in there and he knocked it out the park. So big shout out to Marco Lesko, who you've seen cover a lot of stuff. But Dirty D's, we'll send that information out and we will see what happens. Joking Lee says that Rippaverse has released a total of 12 books in 2025. Appreciate that information because I didn't know that.
Wow.
What did I say last? I said like what if we doubled what we did last? Well, we already did that, I guess. So and it's it's only April.
Yeah, you said we were going to try and release 12 books, 10 or 12 books in 2025. But we already done that. Damn, boss. We're not even halfway through the year.
I was like, yeah, we're like a couple of years away. Maybe every other. Maybe we get to a monthly where we have at least a book coming out a month. Yeah, that already happened. So we're there. Thanks to all the hard workers here at the Rippaverse. Thanks to all y'all as well, because I mean the reason why this stuff gets greenlit is thanks to all of the fans, because you keep coming out supporting and buying all of what we put out. So we appreciate you so much. Again, you're ensuring that we continue on with the universe, ensuring more people get paid in comics, commissioned, all that. So thank you so much for all of the support. But yes, we're already at 12 books, according to Joking Lee, and we got many, many more to come this year as well. So yeah, be on the lookout. We got some fun surprises for you. Lots of stuff happening. It's gonna be a big year, as it already has been. So thanks to all of y'all for that support. Really quick, we had a Johnny, as just didn't say anything. Johnny Red, appreciate that 20. No message though at all. So thank you so much.
Badass.
For that. We have the Jeff Johns loan album Reyes to you. Says Walker Toxic Ranger. No, but
man, I will walk right into that freaking Ghost Machine office over at Image right now and steal up every damn one of those cats that left DC to work on that.
yeah, that's look, anybody like Dion always says, I ain't hard to find, right? And we're talking about football players entering the portal. We'll find you as well. So, make sure you tag if you think you're competitive out there. Just give us a holler, and we'll look at your work. And look, man, I'm all for giving people jobs in comics, man. That's what it's about. Thank you so much for that, Walker, Texas as well. That just jumped up on me. Says Rippaverse needs to start a bookshelf business.
Ripper shelves, man.
I'll be game for that. I'll be game for that. We have some short boxes still. We still have the ice on thing, one that you can go grab. But I'll be down for, I don't know, IKEA freaking bookshelf. If we can make that make sense, that'd be cool. I'll be 100% game for that. Need more dirty deeds and alpha core. Well, we'll see what happens with the form of the latter. You already know is being worked on. That script has already been turned in, actually.
Alpha Core
by,
2 is so good.
Yes, by Chuck Dixon.
Killing it.
So yeah, there's that. What else do we have? CJ said he's down. He says he's down for a Rippaverse bookshelf. Okay. Okay. Roberto says, "Hey there. The other day you asked on X and Instagram for artists ready to do commissions. Any news about that?" Yeah. So that was just a call out. I was just like, "Look, show your work. Make sure the DM's open, and we'll talk." And I will say that there has been some people that have already not only started but completed work that came out of that that post, right? So lots of cool stuff on the way. I don't do that all the time. I hardly do it. I think it's the first time I've ever done something like that. I was like, look, just show me what you got. Show me what you got, and we'll find a spot for you. But yeah, I took a while for me. I know Alex isn't happy with me onboarding all these new creators that he had to do, because I was just bombarding him with all these newbies that did some work, tryout stuff as well, official work as well. So yeah, it's a whole lot of stuff going down. And yeah, I believe we went through it as thorough as we could, at least for the time being. Like, right. So now it's like I'm full, right? At least on that post. Let me get these guys all the work that I can get them, and then maybe we'll start adding some more. We'll see what happens.
That's such a cool thing that we get to do, though. We get to give work to people who are super talented, but may not necessarily be names. And
that's what I love.
They just kind of need their foot in the door, whether that's on the whether that's on the penciling side, inking side, coloring side, maybe even writing side. You never know. Like right now, we're able to do this really cool thing where we're able to fill out and breathe new life into the comic industry, which isn't really a thing elsewhere right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's while having veterans especially is, I love the Rippaverse here because we have the mix of it all, right? Mm-hmm. You have some that are more new. You have folks that have been around as well. And, you bring up a great point, Andrew, in that, like, we're not a company that was ever going to last if we were only trying to get people that have been in the game for 30 years, right?
There was a time when Chuck Dixon was the new guy on the block.
That's true. That is very true.
Mike Barron was the new guy on the block. The Saskas hadn't written the best Black Widow run yet.
That's true.
Right?
That's true. Good point. You're putting it perfectly. And, out of that post, and even out of, what we have now, everybody loves Michael Montagnat. They love him.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Right? He's really, really good. He's really good. Won a fan art contest. That was and now he's here, right? So having that mix of talent where you do have people that have been around the block and that may have names for themselves, they're notable. We for sure don't want to limit ourselves to just having the people that have been around forever. Now we also want people that, maybe they are new. We want to discover talent. Like, why shouldn't we? Why should we not be discovering newer talent as a cover from a person that I'm not gonna say? I want to just show it off, that is extremely young, and they did some work for us, and I'm excited to show that off. You guys probably never seen their work, but they're incredibly talented, and I cannot wait for you all to see what all we've been working on. But that's what it's about here at the Rippaverse. It's we want our, especially because people are learning, people are figuring things out. You're getting that perspective. You want your veterans, but that fresh talent is just as important, as having the veteran talent as well. And I think it's really easy, definitely in the age of credentialism, which is kind of ending these days anyway. Like, people are starting not to even care about any of that stuff anymore. But it's important to have that mix of talent, because you're getting not only that perspective of folks that have been around the block, But that fresh talent is also very new because they also often come from a perspective that you didn't see as well, right? Especially with a expanding universe and us being a publisher, we need that fresh perspective. There's people that, because we're not, people that are our age aren't the only people that exist, right? And people from our generations aren't the only people that exist. They're not the only people that are maybe intrigued enough to go buy a comic. And that fresh perspective is just as important as that veteran perspective. And I love that we have that new talent that's coming in as well, though. People that, again, you may have heard of, people that you may have not heard of. It's awesome. It's awesome. Okay. Marcus Henry says Magus called Yaira Lowlight as a nickname.
Magus called Yaira Iolite as a nickname, and then there's a Painite, and someone said Kunzite, and there's Numite. That's weird.
Maybe it was a typo. I'm not sure.
Maybe
it means nothing.
Probably.
Y'all are horrible liars.
Was that good, Andrew? I thought that was good.
I didn't spoil anything. I didn't say he called her Iolite because of NDA, and because of the NDA.
That's
but
better.
It's pretty obvious in Yaira 3 why he called her that.
You're gonna find out stuff in Yaira 3. Some of
Lots
you
of answers.
Who
Lots of
knows?
answers. Tons of questions.
Who knows?
Google what that word means.
No
Maybe
idea.
All the words. I don't know.
No, any of the words. I don't know what any of those mean, to be really honest. And if they are tied to one another or have a common theme or anything. Who knows?
No coincidence.
Yeah.
Who's to
Exactly.
say?
Creative Welshman with a 3 months says the Rippaverse needs a team-based hero group like Teen Titans and a half demon seeking redemption. Well, we do have a character that's going through, not a demon, but they're going through their share of a redemption, albeit it's a little rough in Stefania.
Yeah.
And it's not straightforward, right? It's not, and to be fair, I like it like that because you can imagine someone that's a little punk, they were a little rough around the edges. That's not something that's going to happen overnight. Like they're going to just up and be good or be the best of it. No. It's going to be a process. Let's call it that. And so we have that going on. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of room for some, like, team-based groups, other stuff, younger characters, younger heroes. We're getting there. Trust us. There is not going to be a shortage of different types of material that's being put out by the Rippaverse. Trust me on that.
That was
good. That
was really good.
The Thinkening with a 10 says Dirty D's was dastardly good. By the way, if you don't follow The Thinkening, you should. That's great content.
Great reviews.
Honestly, wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. Felt like a mix of Firefly and Guardians of the Galaxy. I did not want the story to end. Okay. I love that feedback.
Story is so darn good. It is so darn good.
No. It's
no more spoilers, but that's good.
Carol knows what she's doing, and I'm glad that we finally got her here to do some work with us. She's been an author for a while, and I'm glad that we finally got her a little story, original characters, and she loves it. Andrew, get these Saska ladies into the Discord chat so we can pitch our theories to them. They wanted to get it. They want to.
So they can spill the beans to y'all.
That's what they want. They want.
We'll ruin it. We'll be like, wait.
I know y'all's tricks, freaking gypsies.
Yeah. CJ says I like is a blue gemstone. Yeah,
he knows too much.
Perhaps
it could be a pet name, right? Because Ice is blue, right?
That's true.
Yeah, Ice is
That's
blue.
very true. We'll see. We'll have to see what all that stuff is about. Maybe you should get Yaira number 3.
Defendo has one too as well. A few up.
Defendo.
Yeah,
you're right. There's no catastrophic months for the Rippaverse as Defendo.
Just catastrophically busy.
Yeah,
which is a good problem to have.
Yeah, just it's always something going on, and I'm working all times of the day and night, and I'm okay with that because I love what I do, and not everybody gets to say that they are doing that. So,
100%.
You all are keeping me busy. You're keeping all of us busy, and we appreciate you so much. So, big shout out to Defendo $99 for coming through with that. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's going to be revealed. Some of these characters, obviously, that we shown off, you see in titles and blurbs on covers and whatnot. You'll be seeing, or it'll all start to make sense after you read Yaira number 3. We do drop those little nuggets, and then once you actually read the story, you're like, oh, okay, that's where that came from, or that makes sense. So I'm excited for you all to read that because it's such a good book. Such a good book.
It is, well, Yaira's catching up to Isom. Isom 3, it's the WrestleMania, I feel, of the Isom series, because you set up everybody and then there's the big payoff. And I don't want to spoil anything, but there are some questions and I was like, I almost screamed buy Isom 3. It's exactly what you asked. Anyway, that's it.
I'm excited for y'all to read that Isom 3, because I do feel like that it has some very rewarding times for you that guys that have been keeping up with the story, and it's a lot of payoff for sure. I'm excited. Edwin says I'll put this out in the universe. Rippaverse tabletop game will be viable soon. Yeah, I mean, as our lore keeps expanding, and look, this, I'm not going to pretend like I know the ins and outs of that industry, but there have been a lot of people that have reached out to us that have requested that we get involved in that industry in some capacity. If we can make it make sense, I'm game. If there are buyers out there that are here to show some, that are going to show some love to it, I say let's do it. You know, if we can make it make sense. So that's just me. So we'll see what happens. We'll see. Let's just say that. Mr. Reese says, I still got my Yaira Monday under my cushion couch. Says Mr. Reese. What's up, Mr. Reese? Shout out to you. And as I said at the beginning of the show, we have a thing called a hero stash. Okay. I'm always having to remind people of it because they don't know what it is. But hero stash allows you to buy something without paying for the shipping because you're delaying the shipping, which means that you can also consolidate orders. So if you buy an order, let's say if you bought Yaira 3 right now, bam. And then say later you wanted to, I hear people talking about the Dirty Deeds. I now want to go buy Dirty Deeds or the Rippaverse 3. You can go grab Rippaverse 3. Maybe you can redeem it. You should have redeemed it if you just become a member. But let's say you want to buy it outright. That's fine with us. You buy it outright. Those two separate orders can be combined into one order so you can ship the items all together, which saves you money on shipping. While also, again, with us putting, because I get it. The reason why we came out with that is because there's a lot of stuff that we're releasing. Every other week, people are like, is something about to drop from the Rippaverse? Like, what is going on? These guys at breakneck speed. You're right. So if you don't want to have to pay for the shipping yet, because you want to, consolidate it in a different order, then that's fine. You can do that 1000%. Put it in your hero stash. That is your way to do it. It's the way to do it. So that's why we gave it to you. So, okay. Edson with a 5, Brazilian with the Brazilian flags. Shout out to Brazil. Mr. Reese also gifting a Rippaverse membership there. So yeah. And yes, by the way, those Rippaverse, I recommend them, especially if you are interested, but you don't want to fully commit. They're great options. Obviously, low price. You can pay for one if you just pay it outright, $8, $7, depending on which one it is, because the page count may determine how much it's going to be. Or you can get it with even a $5 membership. Just redeem it. But they have previews of all of our books that are on the way. Some that may have got out recently, let's say released recently between the last Rippaverse. So you would be able to see previews, the first pages of pretty much every book that we've released, while also getting an original story that's a part of it. Yellow Flash is in the chat. Big shout out. We are going to have something a little more formal But that is going to, I think we're going to try to get that out tomorrow. Some more information about the mighty Golden Patriot.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people have asked a lot about.
Looks pretty cool. I might have read the comic a few times.
Yeah, maybe. So yeah, Mighty Golden Patriots. I know there's a lot of people that have been anticipating that. Really excited for that. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun. Okay. Thank you for that. Yeah, he's not wrong. He said you got to watch the Rippaverse drop. You never know. You never know when someone just decides to wake up and push the red button, and then something's live. So,
all right. Well, hold on. What's this someone? What's this someone?
Yeah, that's true.
It's you.
It's me. Yeah, it's me. I'm the one that's like, all right, guys, we're putting this out on this date. Everybody knows what to do. We got a nice little workflow, right?
We do.
Where everybody's able to, because like everybody even here contributes in some way to a release, right? Whether it be coming up with copies or coming up with making sure the team is getting the right images. Somebody's in pretty much all of us that you see. A lot of us are involved in that process. Everybody here is involved in the process, at least in some capacity. So we got a nice little workflow where it's like, hey, I'm thinking about this date, and then everybody's like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Or Carol gives everybody assignments, and we're doing this, we're doing that, and I think we got a nice little workflow here. But yeah, it's nonstop. It is nonstop because I'm analyzing various different things. Really, the big thing that I'm always looking at is what we have coming in the future. So a lot of stuff, I'm like, I gotta get it out.
Yeah,
because there's this other book or other project that we also need to make.
And you want people to buy that to have the context from the other stuff that leads into that. Yeah, and
exactly.
Also we're taking this seriously, right? We're a legitimate comic book publisher. We're not in this to put out 1 or 2 books a year, or even less frequently, right? We're putting out a ton of work because of y'all. Y'all were the ones that demanded more Rippaverse books, and so we said, bet.
Gotcha.
And now you're getting more Rippaverse books. A lot of them. You get what you asked for.
That's true. You asked for it. You said, look, man, like if you guys are taking it serious, you can't be putting out a book and then maybe putting out another one every now and then. Like it's not how it works. You got to be having different artists and different writers, and everybody's got their assignments. Everybody's on their projects because this is the go-to form. You hear me say this a lot. Go-to form of entertainment for so many people. So if that's what it's going to be, you got to keep these guys entertained, got to keep these guys intrigued, you got to keep these artists working, got to keep these writers writing. And that's why we're always working to become more and more efficient. I know Edwin's in the chat, he's brought this up, which is I love because he keeps up with a lot of this data, which is kind of crazy to conceptualize, right? 2 million in collection sales, barely into the second quarter.
That's just collection sales. That's not just back-end sales.
That's true. We've sold way more than that, and we've noticed this. Is one of the things that I keep tabs on, and Alex and guys that are looking at the numbers all the time. Because we're putting out things at a quicker rate, we start to see a lot of post-collection sales, like more than we ever had before, right? Because people got so many options, people may be waiting, people may be scoping out reviews, whatever the reason is. It's just people just not buying it during the collection. But our post collection sales are crazy, which is why we're green across the board, right? Everything's up. Sales are up, individual orders are up, revenue is up, everything's up because of the post collection, a lot of post collection sales, which is awesome, right? It's like for us, yes, the pre-order goes a long way, and we prefer that you pre-order. We appreciate you. It gives us a better scope, but it's part of business is you got to analyze things as things happen, right? It's not just because it was true 3 months ago does not mean it's going to be true 3 months after. You have to make an adjustment. And that's what we're noticing is that we're getting a lot of post collection sales there. But yes, between this, I mean, you're talking about well over 2 million in collection sales already this year. I believe rough numbers you're talking about around like over like I believe like 50,000 books sold. I got to look at the precise numbers, but they're up there. It's just been a great year, been a wonderful year, and I'm really really thankful that all of you guys have been showing a lot of support. Best performing post collection book so far. So far, I believe it's Blood Ruth, and I think that's because it was the way that it fulfilled was as people got more accustomed. It was during that time as people were getting more accustomed to like our release schedule being more rapid, right?
Yeah.
So I would say that like that was the book that really it was full steam ahead after that, right? Sure, you had Horseman and Gooding before, but you got that. I mean, think about all the books that we released and between Trinity and even our first trade or whatever hardcover, we did hardcover as well on that. Things have been just crazy with that book post collection. So, and it's also just damn good. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like it is a damn good book.
Thank you.
The Saskas did a wonderful story. Michael did it. His artwork's incredible on it. A big
You created a great character, boss.
Yeah.
It only goes so far. You got to put them in interesting settings, and that's what you did with this awesome story. But yeah, it being kind of it was a change of pace, right? It being our first horror book, so it had a lot going for it as well. But so far, to answer your question, Edwin, I believe I off the top of my head, Blood Ruth, just post collection, just really there's a lot of people that are in there. A lot of people still even getting. I don't have a plushie. I don't have it on me. But
there she is.
But yes, the plushie, a lot of people still there. It is right there. The plushie, everybody's still grabbing that as well. The Blue plushie that you can grab, the Rippaverse cup, which was also a part of that collection as well. So yeah, it's all kinds of stuff that was going for Blood Ruth, specifically everything that was involved in that collection, which obviously includes that it also includes the book, so it just has a lot going for it. It's a great book too.
And you did great with the black and white. That was super affordable. That was so stylish.
That was the idea of the audience, that a lot of people asked for that after they saw his artwork, Michael's artwork. And then I'm looking at that feedback, and you ladies, you brought this up. Yes, we had an opportunity to upcharge on that, which is what most people would have did. Oh, it's a special version. We're going to charge more for it.
No, you buy Hush Unwrapped, you're going to pay double.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, well, no, why don't we just treat this like the most affordable option of the book, right? So yeah, it worked out. A lot of people love that, and maybe that's a trend that we keep going. But that
very cool.
That's all the audience, right? That's all you guys having your request and you giving us that feedback, and yeah. Mr. Reese, I think I got that. If I didn't, I'm getting it again. Appreciate that gifted membership, Mr. Reese. Also with it too. Your ISOM 3 preview got me stoked. Yes, guys, there is a ISOM 3 preview and the Ripazine issue number 3. So you can go grab. I love how that cover turned out.
So beautiful.
One of my favorites.
So beautiful.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite stories that came out. So yes, there is a preview for ISOM number 3, as well as some other books. What's up? What else is in there? Great Wars in there. I always forget. Blood Ruth is in there. Yaira 2 is in there as well. So and of course you have the original story, which a lot of you got it for, and that's Dirty Deeds. So there's that. And I love all the end. This is like the size that I initially wanted these to be, roughly, right? The page count. The first one was massive. We kind of got out of control with Ripazine issue number 1. That was just it kind of got out of control with
we went a little crazy. I
was packed with so much content, but that's about where we want to float around. Something simple, something easy, something affordable for people to learn more about our universe and what we have going for us. So yeah. Let's see. We have Johnny Red with a 2 says, is a Clayton Crane cover a possibility one day? Look,
I love him all over Black Widow.
Yeah, I mean, look, we will bring people on that want to be here. You know what I mean? And if the stars start aligning and someone's got some availability, there's a one specific project that the ladies are involved in that's kind of how that happened, right? Now, I think I told y'all this, right? Where it's like this artist just happened to be high demand, done a lot of stuff, happened to come available at the second that I just happened to talk to him. Right?
Oh, who you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, wait just a second. And I immediately went to y'all and I was like, just I do this with everybody here, obviously the ultimate decision is going to be me as far as the artist is going to be put on it, but I always get the feedback from the writers because we want to make sure that their vision is what's coming to life. So I was like, he's available right now.
Dang.
Do you like it? And they were like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And bam, got the contract done, and there we go. So that's how a lot of this stuff happens. It's just like right place, right time, right conversation. So if the stars can align, and there are some folks out there that would love to do work with us, and yeah, if they do great work, we love to have them. There's that. Cajun Corey, my man, says love to Jen and Sylvia.
What's up, Corey?
Who's Andrew again? Says Cajun Corey.
I'll remember that when I see you in Dallas.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, speaking of Dallas, Fan Expo is next month, end of next month, going into the beginning of the following month. We will be there.
We'll be there.
We'll be there.
We will be there. We will be there. So come holler at us at what is it? K. Bailey Hutchinson Convention Center, whatever the hell the name of it is. Same place it always is. Dallas Fan Expo. We'll see you guys there. Be sure to come out if you are in the Dallas area. We will have all of our books. We'll be obviously doing our meetups. There'll be some friends that'll be there along the way. All of that good stuff. So be sure to come holler at us over at the old Fan Expo. Cajun Corey just confirmed in the chat he'll be there. So
yeah.
So we'll be seeing you again, brother. It's always awesome to see you there. Always. Let's say wait, where was this at? I lost it in this damn chat. Someone had a good little mention. Oh, well, Anthony mentioned here. He said anyone mentioned Slash yet.
That was so cool with the hat, right?
Yeah, Slash with the Rippaverse hat was
that was pretty rad.
That was, it doesn't get more cool than that. That's pretty. You've made it when something like that happens. That's for sure. Big shout out to Slash.
Yeah,
a big shout out to the sisters. As you all know, they know each other, and they help make some of that stuff happen, and projects they're tied to.
Boss, he
right?
loves books. If
he loves comic books, he loves horror. He's actually a big Bloodruth fan.
Yeah.
And we had to send him more stuff because his kids stole it.
Yeah. So
good problem.
Good problem to have. Good problem to have.
And he loves the hat. He thinks your logo's awesome, Bob.
Yeah.
Shout out. Shout out Slash, man. Much love to that brother, man. He didn't have to do that, and he's just out there rocking it like it's nothing. I love it. We got to fit on 9 hours. Which trees do I have to shake in order to get y'all at Planet Comic-Con in Kansas City in the future? I mean, a lot of that stuff happens with a lot of people that put on the cons. I mean, we start building a relationship with. They usually reach out to us first. We'll build a relationship and then we'll make it happen, right? So a lot of that stuff is that, whether you know it or not, there's a lot of, and I don't mean like literal politics in the con scenes, but it's not like politics like blue versus red, Republican, not that. Like it's a lot of politics in general. It's about who you know and all that stuff, as far as who's getting the preferential treatment to be at these cons. It's a lot of that stuff. That there was we don't have to deal with that as much as we did when we were like really launching because it was kind of more or less a market disruption. And I know people were feeling some kind of way about us because we were doing everything unorthodox. Now it's undeniable. So we don't have to deal as long as they usually know, like, oh, wait a minute, these guys are those guys, they've sold all these books. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters, right? You know what I mean? Like, can you push the can you sell books? Do you have a draw? And,
can you bring bodies?
Yes. Can you bring people?
Lineups, man. Those are nuts.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a lot of that stuff involved, and like we're starting to get over that hump, though. To be fair, man himself with a 2 says Eric can't keep getting away with it. SSWL win. Soon enough, perhaps there will be more mentioning of the Southern Style Wrestling League. Perhaps.
Feels like a good time after WrestleMania, boss. I feel like we're all hungry for some more wrestling stories.
It's true.
Well, that's true. That's true. So, yeah, you'll see some stuff. Let's just say that you'll see some stuff. Okay.
Andrew, that's a spoiler. Get him.
You'll see some stuff. I can at least say that. But yeah, I know a lot of people like that. Larry Shungite. That was a fun little introduction that we had for him, and yeah, I love to explore that some more. Someone asked, what was that? Any new on animation or game? Well, the animation stuff, obviously, you guys know you want to support that venture, become a member over at rippaverse.com/members. If you want to see animations for us, the reason why we're obviously not doing them like as many now, there will be more animations, some stuff that we're working on. Rippaverse Studios dropping soon, but we obviously can't do that for each collection when we're releasing them like as quickly as we can, because animation takes time and it takes money. So we have to pick our spots with those. But there will be more. Of course, there will be more. So be on the lookout for that. I'll have an update for you soon enough as far as what's the next kind of thing that we're going to do. But if you want to start seeing more put together, fuller length animations, become a member over at rippaverse.com. That's the best way to support that venture, because that's really what's happening with that. Money is being rerouted to what we love to do. We like to do, I guess, with Rippaverse Studios. So, yeah. Mr. Reese with a 5 says, we'd love to see a short story on Yaira hunting with her daughters in the past. Ooh.
I like that.
That's cool. That'll be cool. Yeah, you got a little glimpse of that in Yaira, and that would be a little cool thing to see, would it not? I think that would be pretty cool.
Really cool. An upcoming Yaira, if there is any more of her family. Anyway.
Yes. Exactly. Brando's in the chat. He says, I'm late on his deposits for conventions. Yeah, he handles a lot of that, so he knows that stuff firsthand, because Brandon, again, being operations manager, he's helping get a lot of that stuff organized. He says about forming relationships, which is very important in this industry. Yeah, again, a lot of that stuff is who you know. It's not even the accomplishments, sales, being able to, bring in bodies. Definitely, if you're talking about a convention, that's part of it. And that will help nullify any of the other political aspects of it, right? For sure. But Brandon's he's dealt with this stuff firsthand. We've dealt with it, especially it was bad when we were first getting like launching. Yeah. It's just it ain't as black and white as, hey, these guys are there or they exist and they want to be here. Let's just make it. It's not that easy. It's a lot of, definitely when you like with our presence there and the type of booths that we have and all that stuff. All that stuff is a lot of politics at play, man. Unfortunately, I'm not saying that because I like it. I think it sucks. I've told guys that. I told people in the industry. I have not held my tongue on that I think a lot of that stuff is silly. But it's part of it. And to be fair, it's not anything necessarily unique to the comic book industry. I'm sure the ladies dealt with a lot of that stuff being in the film industry and stuff like that. There's a lot of politics that are gonna be involved in that stuff. And as you advance in your career, if you're doing anything creative, you start to learn that it's having the talent, all that's great. But a lot of that stuff, as far as like getting it, being part of this venture or whatever that is, like in our case, we're talking about cons. A lot of politics involved, man. A lot of it, man. Yeah, not a fan. Warren with a follow, a bit late, but congrats on Yaira 3. Also, swimsuit issues win.
Yes.
Yeah,
There
it's been a
were
talk of the town as of late.
a lot of talk about it, eh?
Yes, there has been.
Making Saoirse, everybody's like, so bikini.
I will say, no spoilers, but there is a male superhero that appears in a swimsuit.
Oh, you're right.
So we already have
You're
the art for
right.
it.
So
We already have the art for it, and he is fine.
I don't know exactly who you're talking about. Make sure you pre-order all of the comic books that are available.
I
right
almost
now.
spoiled it because it's not released yet, but worth picking up.
Yeah,
All of
there's, and you saw, I mean, Yaira.
Yeah,
and
too.
Yaira
She's in a
too.
swimsuit.
She's in a swimsuit, Yaira too.
Yeah, Deborah was doing her thing.
I missed that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Wow, wow.
Was she?
Liars go to hell.
Exactly.
That was
So,
a fan request as well. But also,
Yeah.
it was exciting to see what someone with Yaira's powers could do underwater.
Yes, 100%.
That was fun. That was fun. I just wanted to see. It was a fun way to put that in there because I know a lot of people love that for sure. Okay. Let's see. Where am I at? How do you design and lay out a universe Bible? Do you use any programs to assist with? All right. I just did a video on my creator business
Like
channel.
a week ago or
Yeah,
2 weeks ago at most.
specifically answering that question. So go check that out because I give you programs. I give you how I approach it, how we approach it here at the Rippaverse. Recommendations. It's all there on my creator business channel. If you follow me on Instagram, you can see it there as well. I posted on Twitter. I specifically tackled this specific issue about the universe Bible and how we build it. So go check that out. You want it. Look, there's plenty of applications, and they're only getting more and more robust and capable that are out there. You don't have to just, I don't know, write on pen and pad and try to stick it on a wall or have a dry erase board or something. You don't have to do that anymore. Okay. There's plenty of programs out that were built specifically with world building in mind that are out there. Andrew, I believe, just posted the video on the Creator Business channel. So go check that out. That's specifically what you want to look at because I give you what my favorite is, and then I give you a few recommendations on specific applications and programs that you could use to world build and do all that stuff is important, which is crazy. I know when it comes from me, you got there's going to be contrarians out there that act like anything that I say that take the opposite position, right?
That's a good way to fail.
Yeah, exactly. That is like it's. I get it. Trying to convince people that somehow either myself and the team here are incompetent, but I'm not necessarily just splitting the atom. I'm not finding the hope diamond by giving you this information, but it is very useful for you out there. And anybody that would tell you, especially if you're trying to build an expanding universe, that like universe Bible building like shouldn't happen or doesn't have to happen. I think that's I'm just going to give you my opinion on that. That is terrible advice. You should be keeping up with that stuff. This is something that the ladies can speak to this as well. They do this in film with like series Bibles and stuff. It's not necessarily a unique to comic thing, but you cannot just stick everything up there, especially when
you can't keep track of all that.
It's impossible. You can't possibly do it, especially if you have something like what we have, where we have different writers and everybody's giving their input on various things, and you got characters showing up in other stories, and there's development involved in those stories. That stuff is very important to keep the train on the tracks. Now, that does not mean that everything is like, I guess, static, right? Like things can be subject to change or evolve. obviously that's the point of the universe Bible entry, right? Is to be able to, we have a section, ladies know this, that specifically is called development over issues, right?
Yep.
And what that is it's a section for us to be able to keep up with concepts that have been introduced that may not have been there before, but they may be integral to this character's development. Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
important.
like if you have somebody that goes and wants to tell a story that takes place further back in the timeline, if they want to be accurate to the continuity, they can then point to that section. It's like, okay, this is where they were at in their development at this point, right? In the timeline.
100%.
You got to be able to know that stuff.
Yeah.
And there's characters like Brian Solari that show up in so many different books. You want to know every single thing that happens so you can keep that character canon and lore accurate when other people are playing with them.
Yeah, and when a new writer comes in and they're like, hey, I want to use so-and-so, I'm like, oh, great, well, here's this. And now you know everything about so-and-so, and you know so-and-so does this, and they don't do that. But if you go further along, I mean, like, just throwing one character out there, Stefania, who she is started at and who she's going to be like in 5 years is going to be night and day.
Good point.
Writing her very, very differently.
And then there's these little supporting characters that don't seem important, but they're going to grow in importance.
Good point.
Like Cosplay Girl. Who the heck is she? She literally was the reason ISOM stopped. Is that going to be something that's paid off later in the future? Who knows? But you want to keep that person there so you can expand on the world.
And ladies do a fantastic job on that. Like, we have these characters that get introduced, and they're making sure the entries are there and up to date, so that everybody here, I go in there every now and then, I'm like, okay, I know this character did this. I need to make sure that this is, I'm keeping tabs on it, because when I'm writing my story, this event or this thing that happened needs to, we need to put that into some sort of, we got to conceptualize it, right? Or I have to take it into consideration to be more accurate as I'm writing. And so I do that, right? So yeah, it's a very, very important thing, I think, to have. So
it's smart. It's a good idea, boss.
Oh yeah, that was the first. That's where we started. Rippaverse started from the Universe Bible, and from that, everything expanded. Warren with two. Also, who came up with Yaira's new enemy? Well, the sisters are writing, so that's them. They're coming up with a lot of the support characters as far as her journey is concerned. That's all them. I just created her. And there's some characters that may pop up in there, like the Altonas of the world, that I also created, that you may even see in other books. But like, as far as that are really core to Yaira and some of these new characters that you're starting to see, that's all the sisters and Marcos.
But it's not like you just disappear, boss. You know these characters so well. So you'll pop into Yaira 3 and be like, hey, what about this? And then we're like, whoa, that changes everything. Like in Yaira 1, we had Stefania end up with the Alpha Core, but we didn't have that scene where she was praying in her jail cell, and Brian Solari overheard that. That was something you suggested. So it's nice, because I worked with a lot of companies that don't have any idea what's going on creatively. You always know what's going on, and you're like, hey, I think this could make it better. I think this could make it stronger.
Also, Warren, hi, I cannot confirm or deny that Yaira has new enemies in Yaira 3. Although I will say that the Yaira 3 spoiler stream is going to be banging. There are definite moments that I mean, I can't say what, but there's
some big moments there.
I'll just say reveals, and one of them is very funny. She came up with that one. Yeah. And some are very painful, and we came up with them together. And the boss came up with the boss. The boss came up with a really good one. Really good moment as well.
Really good one.
So when you're upset at what happens, it's all of our faults.
Yeah. It was a team effort.
It's a collaborative effort. I mean, the company in general, that's just kind of how we operate, right? It's all us being in the know, which I think it makes for stronger storytelling, for sure, because we're all picking up on what the others are putting down. I see something happen in your story. I'm taking that into consideration with the story that I'm writing. Or, you see something and maybe it's a story someone else had written. And I love that you're like, all right, well, we got to correct. Well, obviously that's your job, right? Your lore master, right? But still, it's appreciated nonetheless when it's like, oh, wait a minute, this maybe conflicts with this. So we need to make sure that either something gets added to make that make sense, or we need to remove it or whatever. Everybody has their kind of imprint on what's happening here at the Rippaverse. It's not just one person or a couple of people, for that matter, or a few that are calling the shots, that are seeing this through. Everybody's got their perspective, and it's appreciated, from Andrew to Carol to the sisters here, and then obviously from the art perspective, we got Igor and Kanan. It's just a lot of people that have input on what's going on, and it just makes for, again, just strong storytelling. It's fun. It's also fun because I will get a good idea from a book that someone else had written, or idea that they came up with. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a way to do that. So okay, I'm thinking of this and that. And so it's fun. It's also fun for me, in general. Okay. By the way, Yaira 3 is almost at 1,900. No, it just hit 1,900 books sold. Just hit 1,900 books sold.
1,900 flat.
Yeah, 1,900 flat books sold. So 100 away from 2,000 day one on a Monday, not a Friday, not a day that everybody gets paid, on a Monday, which is crazy. So thanks.
On a holiday.
Yeah, on a holiday, Easter Monday. Yeah, very true. So thanks to all of y'all. We appreciate you so much. Just pulling this up again. You can go grab this. We got plenty of merch, poster, spoiler poster that's there for you, Cleto poster. Yaira, CGCs, all that good stuff. Of course, you got bundles. Go get everything. You can also just say, I want it all. See a lot of y'all. I want to get cover 1 or cover A. I want to get cover B. Just get them both. Why not?
Yeah.
You might as well. If you don't,
why
don't
settle?
Exactly. If you like them both, just go grab them. You might as well. So there's that. All right, sisters, before we end up wrapping things up for the night, I would love for you to give another sale on Yaira 3, which there's so much from start to finish. This book literally punches you in the mouth. So it's so good. But I want the sisters to sell it.
Stefania's going to do to Yaira as soon as she catches up with her.
Literally.
Man, it's all been building to Yaira 3.
Yes.
I love Yaira 1. I love Yaira 2. But Yaira 3 is when everything makes more sense.
It's a payoff.
It's such a payoff, and it's also such a heartbreaker. It's so tough, because when you have a character as powerful as Yaira, you need to find things that hurt her.
Yeah.
So we've definitely succeeded in doing that.
Well, there was a reason Yaira was laying low in Yaira 1, and it wasn't her intention to let people know where her location was. That was a mistake with Stefania, because Stefania was one of her descendants that has her powers, and because she got shot, she through this big ice beam, and then everybody who Yaira may have had an interaction with in the past now knows where she is. And those actions are going to catch up with her in a big way. And you're going to see why she was trying to keep such a low profile.
Yeah, there's emotional beats. There's some really heroic things that characters that you wouldn't expect to be very heroic are extremely heroic. Yaira grows as a character a lot, but the battles are insane.
The artwork is just stupid beautiful. Like Deborah just goes all out, and Jay Brown's colors just make everything pop so hard.
If you haven't read Yaira 2, earmuffs. She wants to save Cleto. She has to defeat the Wraiths. She's trying to find Neptune, and now somebody is messing with her. And she's mentioned a Queen of Nightmares.
Yeah, and she's almost destroying a town because she was tricked, because she was having these waking nightmares. So Yaira's in a big boiling pot of trouble, and it's actually going to get worse before it gets better, and you don't want to miss it.
Yeah, and Alpha Core's on her ass now, too. You saw Stefania just slug Ingrid, and she's definitely going to have to pay for that later.
Yeah, absolutely. No one just hits Ingrid and gets away with it.
Very true. Very true. Also, we got Chief Critical with a 10, says Saska Sisters. Blessing to the Rippaverse with Yaira and Bloodruth, 2 of my top 3 favorite characters. Dirty D's is great. I'm stoked for Zaylin. You guys on fire these past months. Hell, thank you. And by the way, do keep in mind that because the CGCs for the Great War Separation 2 and Zaylin were a late edition, those orders will be fulfilled later. So my advice, stick them in the hero stash, do something. Because if you have them with a book or something and you're waiting to read the book, it's going to take a little bit and you're going to see everybody else's book start to arrive because they didn't order it with the CGC. So we have it in big red letters on the product details. So keep that in mind there. So Chief Critical, though, appreciate that. And of course, yes, Saskas are amazing. Love that they've created some of your, well, you've created some characters that a lot of people are loving. Stories that a lot of people are loving, and that's what it's about. I love that we're audiences gravitating towards whatever they love, and that's what it's about. So go grab the Blood Ruth books, go grab Yaira, and Saskas aren't done. There's some other stories. You obviously know the Black Eye Club, the Curse, but there's other material as well. We're all staying busy, all continuing to write. So that's going to wrap it up for today's roundtable. Thanks to everybody that got Yaira number 3. Still pre-order it right now. We will be seeing you next week. What we'll be talking about, we will see. We'll have you some updates for Mighty Golden Patriot. Lots of stuff happening. It's going to be a crazy week. Just all around crazy week. So keep it locked. Thanks to you all for that support. You all are amazing. But we got to get out of here. We will see you next time, same time, 6 p.m. Central, every Monday, Rippaverse Roundtable. See you later. God bless. Hope you had a wonderful Easter. Peace out.
Peace.